James Baldwin, an African-American writer during the 1940s and 1950s, criticized Uncle Tom's Cabin in his essay, Everybody's Protest Novel. Uncle Tom's Cabin was known for being progressive, though Baldwin sought to prove that it was anything but. According to Baldwin, the protest novel is a failed attempt to educate people about racial injustice and inequality, and merely solidifies racist ideals without urging the audience to think any further. Baldwin wrote that protest novels emerge for what they are, a mirror of our confusion, dishonesty, panic, trapped and immobilized in the sunlit prison of the American dream. Rather than opening our eyes to the harsh realities of racism, these protest novels reflect our racism and inability to stray from archaic and discriminating ways. Not only does this apply to Uncle Tom's Cabin, but it also applies to the movie The Help. The Help came out in 2011, 9 years ago, but is no more progressive than Uncle Tom's Cabin, which was published in 1852. Although the exposure of white people's corruption and mistreatment of the Help showed that racism and segregation are bad, it also demonstrated that Black people needed a white savior in order to help themselves. Not only that, but the Black people aren't even the main characters of the movie. The main character, Skeeter, is the classic, pure, naive, well-intentioned white girl who is the hero of the story. By standing up to her white friends and becoming friends with the Help, Skeeter was standing up to the social norms of segregation and racism. Though that might sound all nice and good, all it shows is how we should all idolize the white girl for being brave enough to not be racist. And this is a very low bar. If we want to learn how to be anti-racist, it should start with the story of Black people, not just another story featuring a white girl. To add on, Minnie giving Hilly a pie with her feces in it portrays Black people as immature and spiteful rather than admirable patrons of social justice, like they make Skeeter out to be. And the white savior mantra is shown again when Minnie is taken in by Celia and Johnny. If we care so much about racial equality and straying from white privilege, then why are we portraying another Black person as being saved by more white people? This, again, makes us feel like the white characters are so great for taking Minnie in, when we should really be focusing on Minnie and why we admire her outside of the white characters. This connects to how Baldwin criticized how Uncle Tom's Cabin re-emphasizes that Black equates with evil and white with grace. By making the hero of The Help be the white, pure, wholesome girl, and one of her charity cases be a spiteful, immature Black woman who delivers feces, the movie is communicating that white people are superior to Black people. Instead of making the audience respect Black people as human beings, the movie also makes the audience pity Black characters. Pity is not the same as respect. Portraying Black people as powerless continues the implication that white people are ever the more powerful. The Help is a feel-good movie which is made to make white people feel better about themselves and their lack of action against racism. The conclusion of the movie illuminated a sense of resolution which is not real. At the end of the movie, racism did not end, segregation continued, and nothing was actually resolved. This can be connected to when Baldwin wrote, "The formula created by the necessity to find a lie more palatable than the truth has been handed down and memorized and persists yet with terrible power. Making a feel-good movie with a false sense of resolution is the same as lying to white people about the severity and continuation of racism and inequality in America." Baldwin's assessment of Uncle Tom's Cabin shows us how a poorly constructed story can be masked by feel-good sentimentality. Because The Help does not push the viewer to put in the work to be actively anti-racist, think progressively, and learn more, it is just another protest novel. Hollywood movies have a tendency to entertain rather than educate the general public. While attempts are made to combat racism, many blockbuster movies merely feature white savior main characters and storylines, while perpetuating the false idea that Black people are helpless, inferior sidekicks in the background of the main show. White privilege.